I'm with some hood girls looking back at it, and a good girl in my tax bracket. Got a black card and let sex have it. These Chanel bags is a bad habit.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my friend, my Super Jennie Cup. Now, I've been using this cup for about 6 months now, and it is the best change that I have made to my menstrual cycle ever. I wanted to do this video because I have an extremely heavy flow compared to the average woman, and when I was doing research on getting a menstrual cup, I almost didn't get one because I felt like it wasn't going to be enough to hold the amount of blood that my body produces when I am on my cycle. But I did a lot of research on different cups and different menstrual cups, and there are a lot of different brands of menstrual cups, and this was the cup that I chose, and it is like the best thing ever. I do want to give a little bit of a disclaimer that I will be showing you guys blood in this video, and you guys will get to see my actual menstrual blood, you know, last week when I was on my period. And the reason why I am showing you guys blood is because if we don't measure the amount of blood that comes out of us, I just know that I have a heavier flow compared to my friends and other women, you know, based off of the size of tampons I had to use, the fact that I've always bled through tampons and even through pads, and that's how I kind of grew up knowing that I had a heavier flow compared to most women. But like I said, we don't measure the amount of blood that comes out of us, so by me showing you guys what is coming out of my body on my period, I felt as though it would help you. If you do not like blood and you get grossed out by stuff like this, click off of this video. Please just click off of the video. But if you're not grossed out and you really are here because you want to make your period better and you have an extremely heavy flow, then keep on watching. So this is the Super Jennie cup that I have. It's just one of the brands. There are so many different types of menstrual cups, and you can find out which one works best for you. This is the one, this is the first one that I ever used, and I'm going to stick with them because it's worked for me and I really do like it. I ordered my menstrual cup. If I keep saying Diva Cup, y'all, it's because I think Diva Cup is like the traditional brand, the original one, but I actually mean menstrual cup because Diva Cup is an actual brand, and I think, don't quote me on this, I think they might be the first ones to come out with it, but mine is the Super Jennie. But this retails for $37.95 on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, they have pink, teal, and I think white. Okay, they have blue, pink, teal, and clear. In this video, I'm just going to tell you guys, before I get to the blood portion of it, you guys going along my period with me, I'm going to tell you guys why you should make the switch to Super Jennie. No, this video is not sponsored. Let me just say that right now. I am not sponsored by Super Jennie. They did not send me this. I am doing this video because it has really changed my menstrual cycle, and I want it to change your life. Even if you don't have a heavy flow, I suggest everyone switch to using your form of menstrual cup compared to using tampons, and here are my reasons why. Number one, you save a whole lot of money by using a menstrual cup compared to using tampons. When you use tampons, of course, you have to buy new ones every month, every time you come on your period, versus having a Diva Cup, you won't have to buy them as much. The reason why I say as much is because if you have an extremely heavy flow, you probably won't be able to sleep in your menstrual cup. Now, if you don't really have a heavy flow, if you have an average flow or you have a light flow, you probably won't have to buy tampons at all. But because I have a heavy flow, I cannot last through the night without my thing leaking, because I sleep. Every night is different. Some nights I only may sleep 6 to 8 hours, but some nights, you know, if I may sleep in or something like that, I'm going to sleep 12 hours. And honestly, guys, initially what I was doing was I would wear these during the day, and then at nighttime I would wear a tampon. But recently, and I'm going to get onto this in the video, my period for one has been a little bit lighter. But aside from that, because I got used to changing this, my theory was this: I do wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anyway. But my theory is I did not want to fool with these in the middle of the night because they're not as easy to manipulate as tampons are. But I've gotten so used to it that now changing it in the middle of the night is no longer an issue. So it just kind of depends on if I am in the mood. But with that being said, even if I do decide to, you know, do my original technique of using tampons at night and using my menstrual cup during the day, one box of tampons, and I think it was The 18 count box, I'm sure it was the 18 count box, lasted me about 3 to 4 months because, you know, I'm only using one tampon a night, so that's 5, 10, 15. Okay, so yeah, so like 3 and a half, and then it was time for me to get some more because, you know, use one a night. My typical period is about 4 to 5 days, so it all just kind of depends. But yeah, compared to me having to buy like a 24 count or even higher every single month. So that's the first thing. It saves a whole lot of money. The second pro to switching to menstrual cups, which I think is the best pro of all, is the fact that you don't have to change your tampon, well, you don't have to change your menstrual cup as often as you would a tampon. Now, the amount of time that these things are designed for you to leave them in is 12 hours. However, because I do have an extremely heavy flow, I can only leave mine in for 6 hours, which actually, you guys, I don't know why. The past 2 months, it is March, so my period the month of January and my period the month of February, for the life of me, I have no idea why all of a sudden my period is lighter than usual. I don't want to say it's light, however, it is definitely lighter than usual, and I don't know why. I've been getting periods since I was 13 years old, and my entire life, you guys, I need y'all to understand how heavy my cycle has been my whole life. It was so bad that the first day of school, every month of my period, my mom let me miss school because my period was so heavy that even with tampons and a pad, I would bleed through. And a lot of people don't know that tampons come in an ultra size because most stores don't sell the smallest size tampon and the largest size. So the 5 sizes of a tampon is preemie, regular, super, super plus, and ultra. Most stores just carry the 3 middle ones, which would be regular, super, and super plus. And when I was in college, I discovered ultra tampons, which are bigger than super plus. My whole life I was using super plus and I had to still use a pad, but when I found the ultra tampons, they just made my life so much better. Love Tampax Pearl, go-to brand. I love Tampax. But anyway, my whole life basically on my period, I had to wear a tampon and a pad because I would bleed through. The first day, I lied to you not, of my period every month, it literally looked like I committed a murder in my bed. It was so bad, you guys, and I don't know why, but I've never been much of a cramper. I've noticed that now that my period is a little lighter, I'm more crampy than I was before. I don't know why, but cramps has never been that big of an issue for me. So the average woman bleeds 6 to 8 teaspoons during their period, which is 80 milliliters or less. And people with a heavier flow, of course, it's like 7 to 8 teaspoons and 80 milliliters or higher. I can tell y'all right now that I bleed a hell of a lot more than 80 milliliters, and the reason why I say that is because the Jennie Cup that I have is 42 milliliters. Let me double check, make sure I'm not misquoting. Okay, so yeah, the one that I have holds up to 42 milliliters, and when I first tried this, I filled my cup up within the first day. So I lose more than 80 milliliters of blood within my first day. So I don't know how, you know, this is really crazy to me, because if the average woman only bleeds 80 milliliters your whole cycle, and I bleed more than 80 milliliters my first day, that's crazy. So the reason why I got the Super Jennie is because during my research, the Super Jennie is bigger than most of the menstrual cups. The Diva Cup, which I think, like I said, is the traditional one, holds 1 full ounce, which is about twice as much as many high absorbency tampons. I honestly don't know, you know, the correlation between milliliters and ounces. You know, y'all know, if y'all know me, that I really suck at math. So you can do your research, but I got this one because during my research, I had found this article where someone had tried like a bunch of different ones, and she found that this one was the best one for her. Now let me tell y'all the difference between this one and the small one. Okay, so this is comparing the Super Jennie to the Diva Cup. So the small Super Jennie holds 32 milliliters and the diameter is 43 millimeters. Now the small Diva Cup holds 30 milliliters and the diameter is 41 millimeters. The large Super Jennie, which is the one I have, holds 42 millimeters and the diameter is 47 millimeters, And the large Diva Cup holds the same as the small Diva Cup, 30 millimeters. However, the diameter is 45 millimeters. So the actual size of the cup is the exact same for the Diva Cup, is the same, small and large. The only difference between the small and large is the larger one is wider, as in this one I think it is wider and longer, so it really does hold more. So that is why I got the Super Genie compared to the Diva Cup, because it holds a lot more blood compared to the Diva Cup. Let me just tell y'all this. Y'all know I did not have my nails on today, but y'all know that my nails are usually really long and pointy. When I first got my Diva Cup, I had just got my nails done, and let me tell y'all, I still got it in and out with no problem, meaning y'all who don't really do the claws and stuff like that, you shouldn't have any problems when it comes to putting your Diva Cup in and out. As far as putting it in, there are 3 folds that you can try. There's the C fold, which is the one I do, where the cup goes like this, you fold it and you put it in like this, and then once it's inside of you, it will open up by itself. Now, make sure that if you opt for the C fold, I put mine in like this. So if I'm sitting on the toilet, I have the part that's folded facing down, and this is how I insert it, and then it pops open once it gets inside of me. Another fold is the, let me see what this one is called. It is a lot more than 3. You can actually Google menstrual cup folds and you can find out which one works for you. The C fold was the one that works best for me, but then you have the 7 fold, and this is how you fold it, and then you insert inside of you. I don't know if I tried that, I really don't remember, but the C fold works best for me. Then you have the S fold, which is like the C fold, but it's like an S, which it just seems like too much for me. You also have the punch down, which this is the one that I thought was going to work for me, where you put it in like this, and then when it gets inside of you, it'll pop open. So yeah, I do the C fold. That is the one that works for me. A couple of tips for putting it in and taking it out. When you put it in, you do have to insert it up, compared to like a tampon where you put it in and your fingers never really enter your vagina. Compared to using one of these, your fingers will go in your vagina, because if you try to just leave it out and just put it at the tip and let it go, it's not going to work. You literally, just pretend this is my hole, you literally have to hold it, put it in your fold, and stick it up in there, and then once it's inside, let it open, and then naturally your body will pull it up as far as it needs to go, and it will suction to the walls of your vagina. Now, another tip that I have, when you are first trying these out, I suggest that you wear a pad the first month and maybe the second time you come on your cycle while using these. The reason being is because everybody's menstrual cycle is different, for one, and for two, you have to get used to the technique and put it in properly, because if you don't put it in properly, it will leak. So the first time that I tried it, I kept it in, I wore a pad with it for 2 reasons. One, I had to make sure that I was putting it in properly so that it wouldn't leak, and I also had to see what was my body's capacity to when I have to take it out. Now, the average time for these are 12 hours, even with the Super Genie, and you guys, even with the Super Genie being 42 milliliters, I cannot last 12 hours in this thing. You will see the cycle, once I finish telling you guys all the details, and you will see that for some reason these past 2 months I could last up to 10 hours after the first day, but traditionally, September through December of last year, I noticed that mine started to leak at 7 hours, so I realized that my cap time was 6 hours. So basically that's half the time of what it is designed to do, which is still amazing compared to me using tampons, where I had to change those like every 45 minutes to an hour. So even though like I said, now I can leave it in for kind of like 10 hours, even though originally I could only leave it in for 6 hours, that's still really really good compared to, like I said, me having to use a tampon and change it every 45 minutes. It's just so much easier, and I just set an alarm when I put it on. I'm like, okay, 6 hours, I know to change it, and then I will set another alarm again, and that's another 6 hours. And this was before I was sleeping in it. That's only twice a day, so I will only have my alarm go off twice a day, where it's like, okay, it's time for me to change my cup. So that's that. Another tip that I had is when you're taking it out, you guys, I was trying to take mine out as if it was a tampon, and it's not a tampon. If you notice, the little thing that you pull on is smaller than a tampon, and reason being is because this is plastic. If they made it longer, it will probably be extremely uncomfortable, so it's really short. So whereas though a tampon string hangs out of your vagina and you don't have to reach up in your vagina to grab anything, because these are smaller, you do have to actually reach up into your vagina and grab this little thing. Another thing is, when you pull a tampon out, you would just pull it. At least that's what I've done. But with these, you have to push at the same time that you're pulling out. The same muscles you will use when you're doing Kegeling, you know, when you doing your vagina exercises, or when you're giving birth. It's the same muscle that you use to push out a baby, and the same muscle that you use when you're doing, you know, the Kegel exercise. Same muscle, and you push at the same time that you pull, and that's how you get it out. The first time that I put mine in and it was time for me to take it out, I was freaking out because I thought that it was stuck, and I thought I was gonna have to get my mom to come and reach up in my hoo-ha and grab it out. But then I was like, okay, maybe I should just try to push while I do it. And I pushed, and you know, I reached up, I grabbed onto it, and I pushed at the same time, and it came out with no problem. So that's another tip that I have, not to just go up in there trying to pull it up, because it is bigger. This is pretty big once it's inside of you. You know, you don't want to just pull it when you push. And because this is so small, it just makes everything easier. And I don't know if you guys can see, but it kind of like, it gives you some room to, like, you know, pull on it and stuff. So that's that. The only con I would say to using these Diva cups is the fact that you get blood on your hands, compared to when you're using a tampon. It's not, you're not really getting blood on your hands, because you just kind of deal with the string. But with these, your hands do get bloody, but it's your blood, you guys. It's up to you. But I'm telling you, this just makes your life so much easier. And you know, you just wash your hands when you get out of the bathroom. Another tip though that I do have is, when you first working with your Diva cup, try putting it in and out in the shower. Like, I would get up in the morning, take my shower, and then I would insert it in the shower, and then when it was time for me to take it out, I take like 2 to 3 showers a day anyway. So when it was time for me to take it out, I would just take it out in the shower, just because it gave me room to like really squat and, you know, try to understand my body and get used to using it. Now I can take it in and out on the toilet. When I take it out, I just pour the blood in the toilet. I put it in the sink with extremely hot water. I rinse it all clean, and then I put it back in. Typically, you guys, after and before every menstrual cycle, you are supposed to boil these. That's how you sterilize them. You know, get some hot water, put this in there, and that's how you know, clean them really well. If I'm being honest with you guys, I don't do that. I just get really hot water, which I guess is kind of similar to boiling water. It's not the same, but I just get really hot water and I rinse it really clean. And yeah, I don't really add soap to it because this is something that is going inside of my vagina, so I would not recommend using soap. But I don't have any problems, you know, it's blood that's coming out of my body, you know, I'm good. If you are huge, you know, on stuff like that, boil it every time you're about to come on your cycle, and boil it at the end. I do keep mine in a safe place. I have this little baggie that it actually came with. I don't know where my baggie is right now, but I do have a little baggie that I sometimes keep it in. I don't always keep it in there. I usually just leave it in my bathroom in the shower. It's just me and my man, and he knows what the cup is, so I just kind of leave mine either in the shower or in the bathroom somewhere. Not just sitting around in the bathroom, you guys, but I pretty much always have it in a safe spot in the bathroom. That is all the tips that I have. I hope I covered all the bases. I told you guys the sizes, why I recommend the Super Genie, the prices, everything. I will have a link down below so you guys can go purchase one. And I think that's everything. Someone did ask on my live if you could use these if you are not sexually active, and yes, you can. You can use these just like you can use a tampon if you're not sexually active. It will hurts a little bit more. But to be honest with you guys, when I first used tampons, like I said, I was 13 when I came on my period, but my first time using a tampon, I was 14, and it did hurt the first time I used a tampon because I was a virgin, but it all worked out. Once I started using tampons, I was in love with them. And yeah, so it's possible. If you're really afraid, I completely understand. Don't do it if you really are afraid, but it does make your cycle so much better, and it's not terrible, you know, if you are not sexually active. I think I covered everything. If you guys have some more questions, ask me down below. But now I'm going to show you guys the footage of my period from last week, so you could just see my blood each day and how everything went on. I do use a period tracker for my period, so I know when I'm coming on and when I am ovulating. So just because this is a video on periods, I thought I would just mention that. Mine is called P Tracker, and I have 25 days left until my next period. I'm supposed to come on April 1st. So, and I will start ovulating next week. So this is the period tracker that I use. This is the one that I've been using for years. So if you don't have something to track your period, I highly recommend it. You will know, you can know when you're PMSing, your moods and everything, and it will predict, and it will just help you and your life so much better. You guys, get a P tracker. Yeah, I'm about to show you guys some footage of my period from last week, and you guys just enjoyed that, and I will come back at the end of this video. Let me show you how full my cup is. This is where I'm at, which is damn near the top. I learned that I could do 6 hours by testing it on myself. Even if you have a heavy flow, you may be able to do 8 hours, or maybe you could only do less, like 5 hours. You just have to figure out what amount of time you have before your cup fills up. So like I said, it's about 20 minutes away from 6 hours. So one more fill and this would have been almost overflowing. So I'm gonna pour mine out and cut on really hot water and rinse it out before I reinsert it. This is what it looks like after I rinse it out. I like to wipe again before I stick it back in. The way I found out that I could do 6 hours was I tested it and I put a pad in. So every time I went to the bathroom, basically, I would check to see when I would start to see leakage on the pad, and I started to see leakage around 7 hours. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, 6 hours is probably my cap time, the longest that I could leave it in. That's the best way to test it, because once it starts leaking, that's how you know it's time to empty it out. So your first time using it, I suggest that everyone wear a pad with it and just monitor it. And once you start to see leakage in your pad, that's when you know, like, okay, this is your hour, this is your cap, this is how you know when it's full. This is how I fold it, just like this. And when I put it in, this part is facing down. This part is closer to my butt. So I'm going to insert it like this. 3 p.m. So that means I will have to change again at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. So it is 9 o'clock on the dot. And I'm sorry that my bathroom fan is so loud. It's so annoying. But I'm taking it out again. And I'm about to take a bath because I'm cramping so bad. Okay, let me push while I pull. This is how full it is at 9 o'clock. So as you can see, all the way at the top, if I would have waited any longer, it would have started to overfill. So I'm about to empty this out and take a bath because my cramps hurt so bad, so bad. Good morning. So I actually slept in my cup last night. I put it in at about 2 a.m. I think, and I slept in it. When I went to the bathroom again, I didn't see any leaking, and well, this morning I saw no leaking. It is now almost 1 o'clock, so it's been in for however many hours that is. So let's see how full it is. But I had no leaking, so that's strange. Wow, this is crazy. Do y'all see this? Like, it's weird because last month when my period came on, I felt like it was lighter than usual. I don't know what's going on, you guys, but I'm not complaining because my period is usually extremely heavy. It was kind of heavy yesterday, I guess, but it's crazy that I was able to sleep in. Let me see how many hours that is. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 11 hours. That's a really long time. Like, that's almost a full 12 hours, which is crazy. So actually today when I put this in, I'm gonna leave it in for 10 hours and let's see what happens. So it's 12 right now. I won't take it out till tonight because I slept in it for 10 hours with no leaking whatsoever. And as you guys can see, the cup wasn't even close to being full. So just put it back in and I'm about to brush my teeth, wash my face, and go about my day. It is 11 p.m., meaning I've had this thing in all day. I meant to take it out at 10, but I forgot. I didn't even realize it was 10. I don't know what happened to my period, you guys, but this is so not like me. Like, do y'all see this? This is 11 p.m. So this has been in, I think I filmed, what time I come in here this morning? Was it 12? I think it was 12 o'clock. I really don't remember. But I know it's been in for, what, 11 hours, y'all? That's fucking ridiculous. Like, that's crazy. This is only day 2 of my period, and this should not be this light. It usually doesn't get like this until, like, late day 3, day 4. So, I'm rinsing it off now, and I'm about to put it back in, and I guess I can leave it in until I wake up tomorrow. Like, this is crazy. And I said that last month that my period was a lot lighter than usual, which I don't know what happened. Like, why all of a sudden, like, I don't really think this is considered a light period. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if this is considered light or heavy for you, but this is definitely lighter than what my period usually is. Like, way lighter. I'm actually about to get in the shower. I'm at a hotel and it is 9:11 p.m. I put this in, well, re-put it in after I took it out this morning at about 12. So let's see how full it is. It's not even a full 10 hours. Wow, like, my period is really changing, y'all. Like, I don't know why my period is like so light all of a sudden. I think, let me check my period tracker. According to my period tracker, tomorrow is the last day of my period, which is normal. I'm usually on my period for like 4 days, and then the 5th day is just like very minor spotting, and then I'm like completely off after that. So tomorrow is like the official last day of my period. As you can see, I've had this in pretty much all day, and it was like super light. So today is the last day of my period. I've had this in since this morning. It's about 11:30 at night. So I'm about to take it out. This is what we have on the last day of my period. This is all the blood that I got out all day. Of course, I'm gonna be spotting just tomorrow, not a lot. So I'll just put this back in, but it's gonna be the last clip that I show, because I'm pretty sure tomorrow when I take it out, it's gonna be pretty much the same thing, the same amount of years. It's really just spotting. My period is over. So this is the last of the footage that I have, and this is day 4 of my period. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like I said, I will have the Super Genie link down below. I highly recommend you investing in a menstrual cup. Best thing ever. Really changed my life and changed my menstrual cycle, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope I covered everything in this video. If you have any more questions, don't be afraid to leave them down below and I will answer them for you guys. Of course, make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, because that's where I interact with you guys. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video.